Okay. I don't know what happened. It just was spooling and spooling and spooling. I was like, okay, calm down, calm down. Whew, it's gonna happen. I don't know what happened. Okay, hi everybody. It is 8:02 now, and it took a minute for it to go live. Maybe it was mad. I don't know. But anyway, it's Friday. It's the 20th of March, and things are happening. I don't need to keep you guys up on the news. I know the people that follow me keep up themselves, not with the fake news, but with the real news that's going on. So keep your eyes open, make sure you're protected, and watch out for the false flags. You all know what I'm talking about, false flags. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly, if you're here. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly. I'm hoping it's showing up. I think I've got some light issues here. Let's see. Got a light problem. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay. Okay, good. You can hear me fine. Now we're getting it together. I don't know what was going on with the computer. It's just acting ugly. So today I wanted to talk about a statement that was made by a man named Matt Walsh. He's very popular. I think he's got a blog, and I think he may have been the one that put together a movie at some point or a documentary. Anyway, I saw this statement that he made on another person's YouTube, and I'm going to read the statement first, and then we're going to talk about it. It says AI is going to wipe out at least 25 million jobs in the next 5 to 10 years, probably much more. It will destroy every creative field. It will make it impossible to discern reality from fiction. It will absolutely obliterate what's left of the education system. Kids will go through 12 years of grade school and learn absolutely nothing. AI will do all the work for them. We have already seen the last truly literate generation. All of this is coming and fast. There is still time to prevent some of the worst outcomes, or at least put them off. But our leaders aren't doing a single thing about this, any of this. None of them are taking it seriously. We're sleepwalking into a dystopia that any rational person can see from miles away. The way we say it, even Stevie Wonder can see it. It drives me nuts. Are we really just going to lie down and let AI take everything from us? Is that the plan? So that really kind of caught me off guard when he said AI is going to wipe out at least 25 million jobs. Now, between June of last year and this month, I've heard over 1 million people have lost their jobs. And I'm not saying it's because of AI, but I know a lot of stuff is going on with AI. So I was thinking to myself, I know a lot of people, and some of the people that I know are probably in that 25 million. So I went to, guess who? AI. And I asked a question. So I'm going to read to you the question that I asked, and we're going to discuss the answer. So and I just started using AI. I came in kicking and screaming because I just didn't want to use it, because I was like, every time we use AI, then it's learning from us. It's making an imprint and it's learning from us. And it is, because it's scary. I could put something in AI and then come back 3 months later and ask it a different question, and it will answer my question based on some of the things I said 3 months ago. It's like, okay, you're going to have to get used to this. So here's the question that I asked AI. Which jobs will possibly be replaced by AI in the next 5 years? And what should people in those professions do now to ensure that they still have a source of income after losing their jobs? I want to know, because I want to make sure that my friends and family and those that follow me had a clue about what to do. So the first thing that came up was the different jobs. So I'm going to see, do I remember how to share screen? Do I remember how to share screen? All right, let's see. No, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay, so let's go back down here. Let's see if I can share. Oh, let's see. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. I'm going to try one more thing to see if I can share the screen. All right, let's go back. Okay, can everybody see that? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see that. I can't even see you guys in the chat. Okay, now I can see the chat. Put a 1, please, in the chat if you can see, or put the word see. Okay, so good. So these are the jobs that actually came up as high risk, medium risk, and low risk for AI taking these jobs in the next 5 years. Data entry clerks are high. Basic customer support, there's a lot of that out there. Look at the third one, bookkeeping and accounts, paralegal, legal research, junior copywriting, radiologist and screening. Now, that wouldn't have been the one that I would have thought that AI would take. Basic coding, QA testing, telephone operators, translation services, scheduling. And then we can go to the lower risk, the therapists, the counselors, nurses. I figured that the things that had to do with medical might be last. Senior engineers, in-person teachers, social workers, AI trainers, surgeons, and crisis management roles. So basically, those particular professions are in trouble. What's happening is these larger corporations are learning that instead of having large staffs, they can, buy technology one time and then use it, and they don't have to worry about payroll. They don't have to worry about sick leave. They don't have to worry about workers' comp. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I was talking to somebody yesterday and talking about this particular subject, and they said that something really scared them. They were on a conference call, and a question was asked to one of the supervisors, and the question was, how many staff people do you have? In other words, how many quote unquote people do you have under you? And he said 300, but only 10 of them are human. That was scary. That knocked the person's socks off, and that gets us all thinking. What am I doing, and is there some way that AI could actually take my job, and it happens quickly? I just heard that some company, you all know who it was. They basically got rid of like all the staff, and just fired everybody at one time instead of doing it. Does anybody know who that was? I know it's one of those people that maybe helped start one of these social media companies, but they said instead of firing people in layers over time, they just got rid of everybody, and that's just a shame. But we still need to eat, and so what is a person going to do, especially the people that were in those higher risk professions? So I'm going to go to the chat and see what people are saying. Good day, my sister. They will become brainless. And what I want to say about that is I have friends that are teachers in the government school system. And Bill Coles is saying they will become brainless. I think they're already becoming brainless. It's very, very, very sad and it's very, very scary because this is the next generation. And all they know is how to scroll on a screen. They don't know how to add, track, subtract, multiply, divide. They don't know how to read. And how many of you know that? Put a two in the chat if you know that they took cursive writing out of the schools. So my granddaughter's school, they learn cursive writing. So if she writes me something in cursive, some other kid from a government school won't even know what that means because they took cursive out of the government schools. So what else is in here? That sounds right. Unfortunately, um, it's taking all of our information for future use. That's scary part. That it really is scary. I just had an AI come up while you're doing this video. Wow. That's really interesting too. So yes, so I wanted to try to formulate some things that some solutions. I'm a solution oriented person. I wanted to try to see if there was some things that we could come up with to make sure that people still had revenue coming in. I don't want us to turn into a country or a world where everybody has universal basic income. In other words, you get uh, a certain amount of money in your bank account or whatever kind of account it is, digital bank account every month, and that's all you get because you haven't produced anything because AI is doing everything. Now, talk about dystopian. That's horrible. People don't have the will to live if they can't produce for themselves. That's been proven over the years. Um, it it it's taking all communication, conversations, you feed it. You'll have to be careful and pretty crafty with this AI. Exactly. Even the basic parts of AI, I had to look up some things. I was looking for some sheds, different types, different sizes of sheds. And it seems like for the last week or week and a half, every time I'm looking at an article or something online, there are sheds even either above the article or on the side of the article. So I don't know. It's something that we can't ignore. So here's what I'm going to read you what I have and then make some comments on it. What's really happening? AI isn't eliminating entire professions overnight. It's automating the repeatable pattern driven parts of jobs. A bookkeeper who spends 80% of their time entering transactions is vulnerable. A bookkeeper who spends 80% of their time advising clients of financial strategy is not. The key insight is shift from task executing to judgment and relationship. So what it's saying is these tasks that we do, that's what AI is going to take over. But if we're strategically thinking, helping people with that, consulting with people on that, making judgments and also building relationships, then AI can't do that. So then it talked about, well, let me stop and check the chat. Cyclops, Halls. Okay, there are a few of them. I've heard of the Cyclops and CIA Clops. Okay, that is a possibility. I mean, they said that several of these are tied into the government. So the government is getting the information. Who is it that partnered? They said Zuckerberg partnered with the government. And then you've got this Palantir and all this other stuff. And it's not time for us to get worried about it and get, have it make us not move. We don't want to have it just stunt us where we can't move. We need to start strategically moving in directions that are going to make sure that we are not going to be subdued by AI. Grade school will be grade school. Yeah, it's already that. It's based on the people that I know that are actually teachers in the government school. Some call it babysitting and some call it just having to go in there and be amazed every day at what these children do. And my question is always, where is the parent, and why aren't the parents paying attention to what these children are doing? And I guess they really don't care. So, and it's unfortunate. Maybe in some areas, I know that the people that can afford to put their children in private schools, and even better yet, homeschool, are going to be a lot better off, because they're going to end up with strategic thinkers, as opposed to um, some of the stuff that's going on out there now. Some government schools, the parents are involved. They come up there, they have fundraisers, and they make sure that they have computers and technology. Those are the ones that are, but there's so few. And the test scores, the test scores got so bad that some schools stopped using certain tests, and went to a test that doesn't reflect as high as the other tests. So here we go. Strategies by situation. First of all, if you are in one of those high risk professions, one of those professions that AI may, wipe out within the next 5 years, and it's maybe probable, the most important move is to become a skilled user of AI tools. So it's basically saying use AI tools rather than a competitor to them. I don't know how we could compete with it. A paralegal who can direct AI legal research, spot its errors, and synthesize findings for attorneys is far more valuable than one who doesn't touch the tools. So I see it saying, AI isn't perfect. So somebody who's going to go in there and use AI, but make sure that their boss, which is the lawyer, knows where the errors are and corrects them, is going to be valuable, and even more so than somebody that's not using it. Learn the AI workflows relevant to your field. This alone can make you the person who stays when cuts happen. So it's saying if you are possibly on the chopping block, learn how to use AI. Okay, here's another one. Upskill towards the human layer of your work. What that means is every profession has parts that require trust, nuance, accountability, and physical presence. A junior copywriter should move towards brand strategy, client relationships, and creative direction. The work that requires knowing the client, not just the task. A bookkeeper should move towards advisory and CFO style thinking. So I understand exactly what it's saying. Move towards helping the person more so on a one-on-one basis, as opposed to just doing tasks. I'm going to check the chat right quick. I think it already has the information about people, and that's how it understands slang and other wordplay. So AI knows slang. That's something that I did not know. Now it's understanding the mind and seeing where people give up at. That's very interesting. It understands the mind, and it knows what to do to make people give up. That sounds like what you're saying, Randall. The next one, I don't know what that says. The next one says, I've noticed about AI, it lies a lot. The programmers of AI are doctors, lawyers, judges, Congress members, and they're not perfect. So I did hear some articles about AI lying, and sometimes AI is wrong. So one time somebody put in something about AI, name all of the countries in the world, or place all of the countries on the map, on the world map, place all of the countries in their place that start with an A, and it was dead wrong. It had stuff all over the place. And so another time there was a question that was asked. It was one of those math, how in school they would give you these math tests, and I don't know how it was worded, but basically if you're at a stop, no, if you're going like 70 miles an hour and then you have to stop, what direction is all the liquid in the back of the truck going to go? And AI got it backwards. So, because I was like, no, that's not right. Because I had it right. And then I looked it up somewhere else and AI had it backwards. So AI is not perfect. So the suggestion is to learn AI and make sure that whoever you work with knows, for first of all, correct it and know that you've made the corrections. So let's see what else we have here. The government, yes. Yes, corruption. Exactly. So what we have is develop a second skill that's adjacent and durable. So I always talk about having more than one skill and having more than one income stream. Someone in customer support, for example, could layer in UX research, understanding customer pain points deeply. So there's research now, and especially in the marketing world, where they can understand exactly what someone here said about AI understanding us, understand clients' pain points, so that you can go and figure out how to fix whatever their problem is. So, community management or product feedback synthesis. The combination makes you irreplaceable in a way either skill alone wouldn't. So using your brain to help people more so than coming up with some solution that's cookie cutter. And then the next one is consider the AI layer jobs that are emerging. So AI is creating jobs in itself. AI prompt engineering, that's a job. AI input auditing, AI ethics review. That's one that's definitely needed. AI training, data curation, and AI implementation consulting are real and growing roles. Those jobs didn't exist 5 years ago, and most don't require a computer science degree. They require domain knowledge combined with familiarity with how these tools work. So those are a couple of professions that somebody that may be in high school right now or a freshman in college may want to take on as a second. Before I go to the medium risk rules, the medium risk people, let's say they'll never release the best version to the public. No, I think that the government has that. I think that the governments and the corporations, what I call the corporatocracy, the governments, the corporations, and the banksters are what I call the corporatocracy, and they'll always have that. We'll always get whatever they want us to have. Okay, next. So if you are in one of those medium risk roles, the ones that were in the middle, the window is still open, but not indefinitely. Financial analysts should be moving towards the relationship intensive creative aspects of their work. In other words, presenting scenarios to clients, making judgment calls under uncertainty. Those are things that AI won't be able to do. It's like I have a gut instinct about certain things. And when my clients come to me and say, hey, I want to do this, based on my years of experience with people, live people, I will tell them, I don't think that's a good idea, or yeah, go for it. So that's what it's talking about here. You know, moving towards relationship intensive creative aspects and handling complex situations. So I don't think that, well, AI supposedly can handle complex situations, but some things can get really complex. I mean, when you're like from the financial standpoint, if you got family members that own land, let's say and then the land got passed down and grandma passed it down to her kids, and I've got all kind of situations with clients where we have to sit down and really figure out how to handle these situations. And it's not just about regular numbers. It's about who's involved. It's about emotion. It's about who's actually gonna take care of the land, who really wants it. All those things come into play. So that's what it means. You got to start doing stuff like that. And then another example that it gives in that medium role, graphic designers should be learning. Should be leaning into art direction, brand identity, and client facing work that requires aesthetic intuition built over years. And that's what we're talking about. Use your skills that are built over years. Show that you're the expert. AI is not the expert. You're the expert. Let's see. Big difference between listening and hearing. Yes. Yeah. Yes, true on AI financial. I was told by someone that AI would be able to take over some of the CPA jobs like auditing, and that's very interesting. I think that if that's the case, I'm sure that in their continuing professional education, the lawyers and the doctors and the accountants and everybody is talking about this and trying to figure out how they can keep their position over AI. Because anytime AI comes into play with whoever's buying the AI program, they're going to make out with huge profits because they're going to be able to get rid of employees. Let's see, the worldwide internet is a huge database. These programmers pick and choose by dialogue conversations to create their narratives. It's like a two-way learning street based on the context, terms, and etc. I've heard a lot about it. I've heard that there are companies in India and parts of Africa that are hiring uh, people, cheap labor to go in and train AI, which is very interesting to me. So, education or education, that's true. It's not education. To me, what's going on in the government school system is indoctrination. So, let's see what else we have here. Build income diversification now. We're still talking about the medium risk roles. And I think this is for everybody. Build income diversification now, not when the crisis hits. I was reading this book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And it's an interesting book, and it's basically the same concept. Don't wait until stuff starts going off the tracks and off the rails. Figure out what you're going to do now. And that's what I'm telling you guys, my clients and the people that listen to me on YouTube or wherever in social media. Dig your well now before you get thirsty. Start making changes. One of the commitments that I've made is, and I don't have TV. Remember, you guys know I don't have TV, but sometimes I'll be looking at YouTube. I don't sit there and scroll, what is it, like IG or whatever, the shorts, because I know people that'll sit there and scroll, and before they know it, 3 hours will have passed, and they can hardly remember 5 or 10 of the things that they scroll. And that's the purpose of having that like that. I don't do that, but sometimes I'll look at some things on YouTube, and even that can take away hours. But see, I'm on a mission because I have some things that I need to finish. Specifically, some things that are going on here, some things that are going on in Costa Rica, and I really don't have time to sit. Now I'm going to listen to the news. I need to keep up with that, and not CNN and all those, but there are people that I listen to get my news on YouTube. But beyond that, all of the salacious stuff that's going on, and who did what to who and when, and we don't have time for that. So I've made a commitment to my little group that I'm going to finish up some things that, and I'll tell you about it later. Finish up some things, or start on it and finish up some things before the end of May. Okay, so then this is the next one here. When we talk about building income diversification now, if your role feels precocious, is that what that is? Precarious. I'm sorry, precarious. Don't wait. Freelance, consult, build an audience, and that's a YouTube audience or IG audience or whatever. Build an audience. Teach your expertise or create content in your field. I recommend everybody try to build up a YouTube channel. Put a one in the chat if I showed you there's a content creator out there, and he has his camera trained on his fish tank, and the fish are floating around in there, and he has, like, twice a day he'll feed them, and he has millions of subscribers. And if he can get millions of subscribers to sit there and watch fish, then you can do something that people are interested in on YouTube. My son showed it to me. I didn't believe him. He had to show it to me. But yeah, the person has millions, not just 1 million, but millions of subscribers sitting there. And every once in a while, he'll clean the tank or he'll do something different. But mostly it's those fish sitting there feeding fish. Okay, so let's say here's all right. Freelance, consult, build an audience, teach your expertise, or create content. Platforms like Substack, YouTube, is it Coursera, and LinkedIn have lowered the bar enormously. Hmm. A nurse who builds a healthcare communication channel has options. A nurse who doesn't has none. That's very interesting. Um, I recommend that if you have some kind of a expertise, that you start a channel and you build a community, so that you can start teaching them information, consulting with them. In some of my classes, I teach that there are 8 ways to make money on YouTube, and there are probably a little bit more than that, but I talk about those particular 8 ways. Let's see what we have in the chat. I had to feed AI financial information when it asked me to explain set offs. That's interesting. It didn't understand that. UCC stuff, huh? My TV just broke. I took it as a sign. Yes, that was a sign. Don't go get another one. I mean, I have a television. I have one television up front, and I have Netflix. So my granddaughter might come over and we'll sit there and watch the, you know, Life on Our Planet, Wild Kingdom kind of stuff like that. I will watch some sci-fi occasionally. It's been so long. I think the last movie that I really watched was that movie that President Obama helped direct, Leave the World Behind. I keep telling people you need to watch that, because if a recently sitting president, former recently sitting president, puts time into a movie, you might want to watch that movie if you haven't. And I don't think that it's still on Netflix, but wherever you can find it, it's called Leave the World Behind. Very interesting. Let's see. They now have officers operating with officers to screw us over. Yeah, they do. Yep, I do the same YouTube news. Okay, see, yeah, the real news is going to be on YouTube. It's CNN, CNBC. I don't want to be propagandized, and I don't want to. I don't want you to feed me propaganda. I want to know what's really going on. A lot of times, even other stations in other countries will tell you the truth more so than what we have over here. Together, they crop oral vocally to loot 10. It's a corporations and lieutenants. Let's see. I just designed my holistic guide website. Excellent. See, that's an area that is very much needed in the marketplace. People are fed up with the pharmaceuticals. They want natural solutions. If you got some natural solutions and you have the ability to get them out there, teaching them, and then maybe even selling your own products, that would be great. For example, in my kitchen, I have an indoor garden up there, and I have mint in there. I have basil. I have kale, and in my garden outside, I have oregano, rosemary, lemon balm, and I like to make teas with those. And I don't do it for other people, but I just put it in a tea ball to make sure that I don't get any kind of like virus, because oregano is wonderful for getting rid of viruses. And what I do is I cut it, I'll dry it, and then I'll take it off of the stems and put it in bags and then make tea. So that's excellent. Everybody start a website where you're selling something, start a YouTube channel. This is doing something on the side. And I'm going to go into the last area. So those skills that were on the end, the ones that more than likely won't be taken away really soon, they call it the skills that remain durable. Across almost every field, certain capabilities resist automation well. Complex negotiation, ethical judgment in high stakes situations, physical dexterity in novel environments, deep human empathy, creative vision, not just execution, and the ability to manage ambiguity without a clear playbook. Building these deliberately through experience, mentorship, and intentional practice is a better long-term investment than chasing any single credential. The honest message is most jobs won't vanish entirely, but the shape of nearly every job is going to change significantly. Those who adapt proactively will find the transition manageable. Those who wait will find it much harder. Put a 2 in the chat if you've read a book called Who Stole My Cheese. There are very few books that I read in one day because I'm just not that person. I'm not an avid book reader like that, but I read that book in one day. It's very interesting. We need to be able to pivot. We need to be able to turn on a dime. And a lot of people aren't like that for whatever reason. We've gotten lazy and we've gotten complacent and we've gotten to the point where we depend on others to feed us the information. And it's not happening right now. We're getting the wrong information. So, yep, I said, oh, well, done with the TV. My laptop will do. And yeah, that's what I watch. I watch the YouTube stuff on my laptop. You know, YouTube can be a university for us if we're looking at the right things, you know. Okay, so Moon Pie by read it in high school. Your mom gave it to you. Very good book. It was a very good book. So that's my recommendation. That's you all's homework. It's a very short book and it's not very costly. Who stole my cheese? Who moved? I'm sorry, not who stole. Who moved my cheese? Who moved my cheese? And you'll understand it when you get the book. I remember one of your videos, you said, while these people build a fence around us, we're too divided, um, talking what they did in the past. We need to come together and help each other. And Bill Coles, that's actually what I'm working on. So yeah, what I specifically said is, you know, they consider us sheeple. So we're fighting each other. We're focused on each other. You know, you're black, I'm white. You're Christian, I'm a Jew. You're a Muslim. I'm a Democrat. You're a Republican. And especially, you know, lately with the Democrat Republican thing, I don't understand how people shoot people over, you know, their support for a candidate. I mean, our minds have just been so gutted. And then the corporatocracy is laughing at us and they're building a fence around us. And this fence is turning into something that's going to be very restrictive for everybody. So those of us who see it, we need to get out of it. So we need to fly above it. With all these people losing their jobs, we have a war going on. We're literally bombing people on behalf of other countries. Uh, our people are being eliminated on other shores. We have gasoline that's going up at least 50 cents, and I have to use premium for my truck. So, you know, that's not fun. All these things are happening, and more than half the country is I don't know what they're doing, but planning and making sure that yourself and your family is not going to get caught up in that. I'm praying that all of you all are doing that. Really, I am. Because you know, AI is a whole thing over here that we're talking about. AI is a thing over here that's taking jobs. I remember seeing about 2 months ago, there's some kind of a program that is literally banned in the United States that can make movies, and it makes the movies as good as the ones in Hollywood. And I think they got sanctioned because they made some anime that one of the big movie houses has these characters, and they made a movie with these characters and it looked just as good as any Hollywood production, and everybody's up in arms about it. Everybody's trying to find a way to make movies. You can make millions of dollars with movies because people like to watch them. So what if you got some kind of a program that, you know, runs on AI, that you can use, you know, the faces of these characters that really are on by Hollywood and then make some movies and sell them on the black market. And I think that's what's happening. So everybody's up in arms about all of that. But the screenwriters in California, in whatever you call that out there, were striking at some point, because the producers and the filmmakers were using AI. So it's getting really wild out here. Let's see what else is in here. Everything changes but God. That's right. Yep. I am the Lord, I change not. Oh, the draft. Yeah. So I heard someone say not too long ago about them trying to bring that stuff up again. And you know, I don't believe that we should be taking people's stuff. If they're fighting each other, let them fight each other. Our country is supposed to stay to itself. It's not supposed to be giving money to other countries, and it's not supposed to be fighting in wars. And I think for sure that I heard the president say that, this was going to be no wars. He was like a no war president. And all of a sudden, here we are in the middle of the Gulf of Hormuz or whatever, and sending Navy ships and stuff over there. And this is not good, y'all. This is not good. And so we have lots of countries that really don't like the United States. And we just have to be careful. We just have to be careful because we haven't had anything too much happen here on our soil, besides false flags. But I don't know how long that's going to be the case. Let's see what's in here before we go and talk about what I was going to talk about. Okay. Earn my wings. That dirty deputy is bye-bye now. Now listen, you all. When you talk about skills and when you talk about what's needed, I get a lot of calls and I get a lot of emails with people asking me a whole bunch of questions about what to do, with their finances, what to do with their careers and stuff like that. And I'm supposed to be the I don't want to say the grandmother, but the sage or the OG, because I'm the older person. So I try to explain to people that it's going to be based on what you need. I don't do cookie cutter. There's certain things that are cookie cutter. Like go get a second or third or fourth stream of income. I'm telling everybody that, but you got to figure out what it is. So this is just a save the date. I'm going to do what's called a wealth activation masterclass. I did the elimination of taxation masterclass right before tax season, where I taught everybody how to do a tax return. If you got a W-2, they're gonna want a tax return. That turned out well. I taught some other stuff with that. It turned out very well. I had, a nice class full of students for that. But tax season is almost over, and I'm kind of wanting to move people along to how do we get to the point where we're able to protect ourselves and our family. So it's going to be coming up. I don't have the website up for it yet, but it's going to be April 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. April 21st, 2nd, and 3rd, and I picked 7:30 in the evening. I'm going to prepare some serious content. And if you talk to anybody that took the elimination of taxation, I wasn't playing around. I've been to so many of those seminars where they'll string you along for 2 hours and they'll tell you only two concepts while they talk about other stuff. That's not who I am. I'm load you down with information. And you get like 24 or 48 hours. This time I think I gave like 72 plus hours for them to watch it, because everybody can't watch it in the evening. Some people work in the evening. So I left it up for a long time for people to listen to. But when we do this wealth activation masterclass, I'm kind of let's back up. So last week I attended a 3-day seminar, and it was like that. It was more like there was a lot of testimonies and a whole bunch of other stuff, and a few concepts came up. And I watch these things because I don't know everything. I'm still, I'm still open to learn. So I went into it saying, okay, well, what strategies does this person have that I could actually share with my clients also? Well, there was one strategy in there that was named that I hadn't heard of before, and it's been repealed in the December 31st, as of December 31st, it rolled off. So the other little concepts that I heard, I already knew those. And the thing about this one though, this particular person that has this business said that they were only taking people who had net income of $300,000. And that's okay for them to eliminate other people. But I'm not doing that because yeah, the people who earn $300,000 need to know what to do with their money, but people who don't earn that much need to know also. Or else the people that earn less than $300,000 a year are never gonna, get ahead. So I'm for those people. You can call me for the underdog or whatever, but I'm not gonna to tell people that make, 60, 70, 80,000, 100,000. No, I'm not gonna teach you. You don't have enough money for me to spend time with you. That's not right. So the class is going to be low. The entry level to the class is going to be low, and I want to teach some concepts that will actually help people that are in the middle class. I want to teach concepts that will help. I'm not going to try to teach you something that'll only work if you have $1 million worth of real estate already, or $200,000 worth of real estate. A lot of people don't have that. I'm not going to teach you, well, you can't use this concept unless you have 5 pieces of rental property, that kind of thing. I'm not doing that. So it'll be in sort of late April. I'm going to start putting the word out there as far as putting a little website up for people to sign up. I'll probably have that up by the beginning of April, because I get on here, and if I'm going to talk about helping people and helping people escape the rat race and helping people thrive in any economy, then I got to teach y'all something. I got to come with some receipts for y'all. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me check the chat one more time before I go and figure out my next move for tonight. I have to go keep my new grandbaby. My mother, my son has a 2-month-old, and his wife, she's just had a baby. So my mom's treating them to a spa tomorrow, and then we're gonna go over there and take care of the baby. So I get a chance to see my chocolate dumpling tomorrow all day. So let's see what we got before I go. Divine day, everyone. Glad to catch up. Hi. Off topic. Is there still opportunity in Costa Rica? Yes. Okay. Let me back up. I missed some things. Earned my okay. His father was okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Costa Rica. So Costa Rica, yes, it moves very slow, and that's to other people's benefits. But now I have a marketing team, and they are on it. They're finding financing in Costa Rica. If you can't finance here, they're where we are with the property is zoning. They don't do zoning like we do zoning. It's a process that's painstaking, because they don't get together as the different organizations that deal with property and make a decision on a property. One will tell you one thing, but then you're operating thinking that that's okay, and then the other one will tell you something else. So all of that's getting straightened out. We're praying to break ground by October, but we're going to start pre-selling, just like the condos that come up in the middle of Miami or Atlanta. It comes up, the picture comes up, and they say pre-selling for $400,000. And then a lot of times they're all sold out before the last brick is put in place. We will have these homes. There'll be individual homes. You will have a title to them. You get to pick from 6 or 7 models, to 1-bedroom, 2 1-bedroom models, 2 2-bedroom models, 2 3-bedroom models, and then you have custom that you can make. It's going to be on the east coast of Costa Rica. I don't know whether or not you all knew that, but the website is themiddleofparadise.com. You'll get to see the old website. New website should be up probably in the next 30 days, uh, from real marketing people and not from me. So it's a great improvement. But yeah, that is my plan B and a whole bunch of other people's plan B. Like I always say, there are no bombs pointed at Costa Rica, and you won't freeze to death, you won't starve to death. You got fresh water, you got salt water, you got fish. A lot of stuff is from the ground to the mouth. When I'm in a restaurant, I can look in the back and I can see bananas and plantains hanging up. I can, see where the way they make my mango smoothie is they chop the mango up and they put it in a Ziploc bag. It doesn't have any added sugar or added anything. They just put it down in the blender and bam. Anyway, let me stop dreaming. And by the way, uh, Kenneth, we will be having the Costa Rica expedition again. I think I may have put that down in the chat. We're going in October. It's going in the middle of October, and I do tours and we do uh, these intensive classes on asset protection and wealth creation and generational wealth and building a legacy. So that's available. So on to the next one. As soon as I saw you were talking about AI, I had to catch the conversation. Yeah. Well, you know what? Oh, Tamisha, listen, start telling people about it. Why don't you that is your area. Why don't you start doing a YouTube channel or a blog or something teaching people about what's going on? Because a lot of people, they don't know. A lot of people have a clue, but they're not really paying attention. So go ahead and put I can help you do that. Go ahead and put something together to make sure that people know what's going on with AI. Please, can you please do that? Because I'm not the expert. It's not my lane, but I know it's an issue. It's an issue for us that we need to start addressing right now. Yes, that's so cute. I'm gonna have a great time with my grandbaby. When I went over there to keep him the last time, my son said he hadn't talked that much ever because I was talking to him a lot. Because relying on one paycheck in this economy is a risk. It is dangerous. Building skills and owning your income is how you stay in control and don't get left behind. I want to say something about that. I talk to people most of the time, and I think that this system, and I blame the system more so than I blame the people, because the people are blindsided by the system. People want to come home from work and sit in front of the TV. Okay. That second stream or third stream of income for some of us is critical today. I don't see how people can make it. I saw a video the other day that said that average rent is around the country is like $3,000. I don't know what it is in Atlanta, but I know it's more than 1,500. I know somebody that's paying 2,300. I know somebody else is paying 1,700. That's a lot of money just to rent somebody else's place. Just to rent some, and then they're all the prices are going up. For example, my mortgage is going up $358 next month because they took the homeowner's insurance up $2,000, saying that it was going to cost a whole lot more to replace the stuff that's in my house. So my homeowner's insurance jumped $2,000, which is making my mortgage jump $358. That's sad. And that with gas and all that, we can't just sit here and wait on a plate from a job. It's like you got this job and yeah, you're doing something for it, but you're sitting there and you're waiting on them to feed you. And you can't do that, because what if they stop coming? What if they stop bringing the plate, which has happened to over 1 million people within the last 6 months? They don't have the plate anymore. I have seen more than one person living in the bus stop shelter. So the bus stop shelters here in Atlanta, they're kind of like plexiglass. And you see this person sitting on the bench and they have a grocery cart or 2 or 3 pieces of luggage with them. So they actually sit there and they sleep on that bench. and I saw the police moving one because he was near the Bank of America. I guess they didn't want him near a bank or whatever, but this is getting critical. I had a lady that approached me in a Michael's. For those of you that don't know, Michael's is more of a craft store, and I was going in there to get some crafts. And she was in the back of the store. She had on a suit. I mean, she was dressed like she was going to a corporate job. And she pulled me aside and she said, I hate to do this. I really do, but I'm in a tight and I need gas money. And I would have helped her if I had money, but I didn't have any cash. So it's getting real. It's getting real. Let me go down one more time and see what's down here because yeah, we can't rely on a paycheck. You all need to go get something that you're going to do. If you want to know where these elites meet physically, check out your local Masonic, yes, Masonic temples, right? And I read something recently about the Bohemian Grove too, by the way. Yes, I'm excited about you starting this, Tamisha. I want you to get started with this. Yeah, and in the development in Costa Rica, that warms my heart, and I keep moving with that. But we need to do something here, and we need to do something other places. Because think about all the wealthy people; they have something here, but they also have something in another country. Moving to Costa Rica was the best decision I made as an adult. Okay, so yes, yes. Did we ever get? No, we need to talk about the October because I need to get back with the hotel. So uh, help the hotel, please. Kind of remember that we're coming. I do have the dates, and Tamisha, remind me to tell the hotel the dates because I totally forgot. I told that girl that I was going to tell her the dates, and I didn't get back with her. So remind me in an email or send me a WhatsApp to say, hey, remind the hotel about the dates for October. Let's see what we got here. I'm an OG sponge. I like it plain, simple, and logical to where a child can understand it. And I try to teach like that. People tell me I like teach on the 8th grade level. I don't try to get technical. I don't want to get technical because I know people might not understand it. Thanks for addressing that. Okay. That's my birthday month. So I will be there. It's October. So the dates, they're October, I think 18th through the 25th. We'll be going on tours, serious tours. Like we're going to go to the waterfall and chocolate tour, the Bree tour. We're going to do the city tour, a lot of different tours. And I've got a couple of people that I can probably put on here to give you testimonies about last October. We had a blast. The AI. Okay. Do you think AI might replace CPAs? Yes, Randall, to a certain extent, they will. The grunt work that CPAs do, I think so. I think that their fees that they charge for audits and reviews and stuff like that are gonna go down because companies like American Express are already in the CPA world. They're getting people from other countries and teaching them how to do the audits and then having a CPA sign off on it. So if there's a CPA here that might charge $10,000 for an audit for a year, then they get undercut at $6,000 or $7,000 by American Express. This is what was happening before, and there's no telling what AI is about to do with that. So yes, you can thank the Bill Gates. Oh, we don't talk about Bill Gates. I don't want to talk about Bill Gates. He's I heard he has a whole bunch of satellites up there. There's a scripture that comes to mind when people say Bill Gates, and it's Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man sow, that shall he also reap. There's a difference between income and wages, folks. It's critical to understand this. And it's so interesting, Moon Pie Bye, because people will say, oh, I make $250,000, but then they don't take home but 50 because they go out and buy conspicuous consumption. And a lot of women will do that. You make that money and then you style and profile and buy a $2,400 pair of shoes and stuff like that. We have to learn. We have to teach them. It's our responsibility to teach them. If they don't listen, we've done our job. Don't get like I used to get caught up when I would teach stuff and people would go off and do the opposite of what I said. I used to get so upset, but it's like, no, your job is done. You taught the people what they needed to know to get out of debt, to increase their income and eliminate taxes and all that. Just move on to the next people who really want to learn. The bench bus stop homelessness is serious. Yeah, I'm starting to see it a lot more. I'm starting to see it a lot more. Oh, yeah, Bill Gates lives in Washington. Yes, yeah. I've been up there in the Bellevue area. I've been in that area. Okay, good. Thank you for that, Tamisha, making sure that they lock me in. If you go down into the description, you'll see the dates because I'm almost sure it's October 18th or 25th. But let her know because I've already got 2 people registered, uh, and I haven't really put the word out. Okay, Moon Pie AI will definitely replace real estate agents. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. This was shown in a movie, RoboCop. They will replace real estate agents. Was it a robot AI or was it just AI in the computer? Because that was a discussion too. There's AI that's doing stuff on the computer, but then they're putting stuff like that in robots. Somebody just showed me a video where it was some kind of a Chinese show, and the all of the little robots were doing flips and they were agile, and this is real. Okay, Bill Coles, the system is designed by the wealthy who own the puppets in the public office. Yes, you'll never see their faces, and the Rockefeller education system and the Rothschilds banking system. The people who really run the country, you'll never see their faces. And yeah, the Rockefellers were the ones who came up with I think it's the Flexner report that changed all the medical from all the herbs and stuff that were being used to no herbs and all the pharmaceuticals. You can't wait until robotic cops. Oh no, yeah, it's gonna get interesting, but I'm gonna be in the jungle, y'all. So it's 9:04. I'm gonna shut it down. Next week. Is it next week? No, I'm not sure whether I'll be on the. Let me go back. I'm in the wrong month. So this is the 20th. I'm not sure about the 27th. I may or may be on, may or may not be on. But on April 3rd, I am going to have a guest on. I am going to a homesteaders conference, and I am going to interview the people that are at least one of the people that's putting on the homesteader conference. So stay tuned for that. I'll be putting something out on that on the little post and on my email because I would like us to start talking about homesteading. And this is going to be a great conference. I attended this conference in 2023. I will be speaking at this conference this year. And my role in this conference will be more so how to build a legacy financially. So getting families together on a homestead, making sure that their resources are pooled together. And that's what we want to do. Let's see. Glad to catch you live. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Oh, let's see. The thing is to do in the time right now. Create a business that will pay you and make money. Exactly. So that's easier said than done, and it can't be just any business. You got to be really specific in these days. Homestead Heart. Okay. Homestead Heart. Homestead. Are you asking what a homestead is? That's a homestead is like when you got a big piece of land, you got a lot of people on it, you might have some animals on it, you got your plants where you're growing your crops, you might have some chickens on there, and you have businesses going, and you have a lot of family members on there. A long time ago, most families used to live on one piece of land. It might have been, let's say, 20 acres, 90 acres or whatever, and grandma was a little bit down the road a little bit, but it was all on the same property. And we need to get back to family, y'all. What they did was they divided us up all over the cities and all over the country, and we can't help each other. We're like sitting ducks when it comes down to it. We got our younger people losing their apartments, and just come home and live with mom, and y'all pool your resources and stuff like that. I see a lot of videos like that right now. Okay, she says, no, I'm asking if that's the program you'll be on. No, it's not. Oh, no. I am interviewing someone who's putting on what's called the Black Homesteaders Conference. So it's a conference in Villa Rica, Georgia, which is out on the west side one on the west side of Atlanta, going towards Alabama, and they had this last in 2023, and then they're having it again now. So it's not those the Homesteader Hearts. I hadn't heard of them before. Okay. All right, I'll have that on the 23rd. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be, I'm sorry, I'll have that on the 3rd of April, if that's a Friday, 3rd of April, and then the 27th of March. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be on or not, but stay tuned. I'll let you know. And everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.